and welcome back to episode 118 of the Hit the Showers podcast, presented to you by the Foolproof Entertainment Network. As always, I am your host, Clifford Jordan Jennings, here with my point man and co-host, Malcolm Deadbeat Dale Earnhardt Jr.
It's okay, Cliff. Hey, it's just like the Raiders season every year. You tried and you failed, but that's okay. How we doing tonight, Cliff? How we doing tonight?
I'm all right. How about you?
I'm living. I'm on the go. I'm here. Another day, another show. Let's go.
Well, let's go then. What you got first? What you want to throw out there first? Or you want me to get into it?
Yeah, let's have you start it off just real quick.
I guess we could jump into the trade rumors. And where the fuck is your cousin seeing Deebo Samuels to the Eagles at? Or is he just talking shit?
Lester said that?
Yeah.
Lester just be talking the talk.
Yeah, he said it in a group chat. And I was like, definitely ain't hear nothing about that. I don't know why or where he getting that from. Now, he is on a list. He is on a list of teams he's interested in being traded to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does have the Eagles on there. So maybe that proves me completely wrong from last week's episode where I said no marquee quarterback's going to want to go to the Eagles till after the draft.
Yeah, I mean, Deebo Samuel, I would love Deebo Samuel in Philadelphia, obviously, for multiple reasons. However, I don't think that he comes to a team like Philly. I don't think that we can even maybe afford him. We may have salary cap. I could be wrong.
Well, that actually just brought up my next point, right, is that maybe the reason why he's saying that he would like to get traded to the Eagles now is because he wants to catch them before they spend their draft picks. But I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, we have a lot of draft picks. I mean, that could entice it. However, I don't know if they're going to just let him go.
You don't know if the 49ers are going to let him go.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be so quick to just let Deebo Samuel go.
Well, he requested a trade, though.
Right, but what I'm saying is they have to agree to the trade, right? Like they have to be willing. So kind of like Deshaun Watson, how do we know that they're going to be willing enough to be like, okay, yeah, that's fine. They might make it hard for him.
I mean, I could definitely see that. But at the same time, I mean, it's definitely not Deshaun Watson because I don't think I heard anything about Deebo saying he wouldn't play, just that he wanted a trade.
Yeah, but I mean, will he play if he were to not get traded and have to stay in San Francisco? That's my question. You know, does Deebo stay and sucks it up and ends up playing, or does he hold out until he gets what he wants?
I think he would have to play.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm sure you would start getting financial fines and things like that.
I mean, I don't know. He could get fined, but I mean, you're definitely going to be missing out on money if you don't play. And then how much does that affect trade interest? You sitting out, you know? Because the whole reason didn't affect Deshaun.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, they still was willing to jump on him, you know. And well, it is different because it's different in a good way for Deebo because, bro, he's playing wide receiver and running back, and great at both. You are a double weapon,
right? But here's the issue, right? Is when a quarterback is out there, and they choose to sit for a year. The things that they look at to confirm if he'll still be a good quarterback don't really have much to do with speed, acceleration, and explosiveness.
Right.
Because Tom Brady has none of those. but
he doesn't.
is the best quarterback in history. So I say that to say, when you're a receiver, not so much running back, but you could throw that in there as well, and you lose one step, that one step could make or break what puts you at a top tier or in the middle of the pack receiver. In a year off, I don't care what you say, you're going to lose a step. Even if you're training the whole time while you're off, it's different than going up against actual professionals in a real live game situation.
I mean, hey, you see T.O.'s latest? That's one thing we could talk about too. You see T.O.'s latest debut?
Yeah, with the, who is that? The AFL or what
something like that. XF, is it
no,
XF?
it's the
XFL or CFL? It's one of them, right?
Isn't it like the PCL or I don't know what the fuck it is.
PCP, PCL, something.
Isn't it that People Control League or whatever?
Hey Siri, what team does Terrell Owens play for? She naming all his NFL. That's gonna bug me. Let me see what
yeah, I think it's like the People Control League or something.
Yeah, the only thing I'm saying is, yeah, I mean, I don't know, you could lose a step or two, but T.O. looking like, he still, he plays for the Zappers of fan controlled football.
FCL. I said PCL, people controlled. It's fan controlled.
He's 48. All I'm saying is, I mean, it's Deebo Samuel. It's Deebo Samuel. He's not your average guy. You know what I mean? He's not your average guy. I agree with what you're saying for your average guy, right? Your average player. But for a guy like Deebo Samuel, I just feel like he's a different beast. Like,
I do agree with that, but that doesn't mean that even they don't lose a step in speed or explosiveness or whatever the case may be. And exactly to my point, that changes you from being a different kind of guy to just a regular old wide receiver out there in the pack. I don't know if he can afford to sit out for a year with nothing wrong. I feel like you at least have to show improve in San Francisco if that's what you're going to do, and wait until they choose to trade you. But I don't think he's proven quite enough just to sit out for a whole year and other teams just be dying to pick him up.
So you know how we talk about in basketball how it's so odd how they view the MVP? How do you really determine who's the MVP? Is it who means the most to their team? Is it who puts up the best stats, etc.? I consider Deebo Samuel, in a sense, kind of like an MVP caliber player, right? Because he's so explosive. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball. He can break tackles. I mean, he just gives you so much more than you ask for of a player typically. So I feel like, you know what I mean? I feel like if he were to sit out a year, I'm not saying he will, I'm just saying if he were, I feel like you do still consider taking a guy like Deebo Samuel. You still have to look at that and say, at least watch him, right?
Oh, I completely agree.
How's he looking? Is he looking like he's far off, or does it look like, man, he's right back, where he needs to be, or even better?
I completely agree, though. Consider is the key word, though. That doesn't mean we take him.
Right, because I look at it this way. Okay, another example. I know you want to get into this later. I'm not trying to jump the gun, but your boy AB, Antonio Brown. He was out for how long, Cliff, before he came back was it a year or so, or at least a year, right?
A while, yeah. I think he might have been out for a little more than a year. But he lost shit too. You think he was the same AB? Right now, Deebo Samuels is in the prime of his career.
He wasn't the same AB, but he still made you consider wanting to sign him. He still did pick up a ring. He contributed it. He contributed.
I agree, but you know what else AB had to do is he had to go out there and run some routes as well. It wasn't just like motherfuckers was just like, get AB off the couch. Nah, they want to see where you at first.
I mean, they did. They did, but they trusted Tom Brady's word when Tom Brady said, "I want AB who's on the couch."
And then but you heard about Tom Brady practicing in parks and all kinds of shit.
Practice in your grandmama's basement. That's all he's got to work with.
What I'm saying is Tom Brady is going to prepare you himself. He moved him into his own house. There's not a lot of players like that in this league. So if you come off the couch and you're not ready, now all of a sudden people aren't looking at you like the same Deebo Samuels, and those headlines start sounding a little bit different. I don't think there's any point in risking that when you could just play it out. Don't get me wrong, certain situations, I completely understand players saying, I'm not playing another down until I get paid. I completely get that. Now, certain situations as well, I completely understand a player saying they want out of a situation. In this specific situation, I'm not quite sure what it is, right? Because at the same time, you've already been getting pretty far in your division, making the playoffs. So it's like you're on a team that's close. They're close to getting there. And all of a sudden you want out from there. Haven't heard too much craziness in San Francisco is what I'm getting at. Texas, it was stories, it was all kinds of shit going on long before Deshaun even ever came out and said he wanted out. So I wonder why Deebo wants out, first and foremost. Secondly, to finish my original thought, is certain players I get, but until something comes out as to why, I don't think you would really have the right to say, not the right, but, well, I guess contractually you don't have the right to say, I'm not playing. Basically, it has to be something big to me. Otherwise, it's like, why aren't you not playing? That's what you got paid to do. You signed the contract, honor it.
Right.
But once again, I think if it is something big, it would have to be big enough for you to sit out if you do say, I'm not playing, and they choose to keep you. We don't know if that's the case yet. It may just be a trade request, and that's it. But I know you would like him in the Eagles, but I know some of the top teams that were selected were Patriots, Eagles, Packers, Chiefs, Steelers, and Saints were on there too, I think. Out of those, where you think his best destination would be? Oh, you cut out. There you go. No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I might just stick to this. What are the options for his teams you were saying?
Packers, Chiefs, Patriots, Eagles, Steelers, and Saints. Oh shit, he didn't cut out all the way. Well, until he gets back, I don't know what else. The best. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'm here, Cliff.
Okay. What was you about to say?
I think Deebo would look nice on the Packers. Only because Devontae's gone. But he would look good in Kansas City as well. But I feel like when you get too many superstars, that's always a problem as well. So probably Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the top ones I was thinking. Chiefs really beyond having too many superstars. I don't know if you have any room to pay him.
That's what I was thinking too.
You know, like all the people you picking up, and then out of it would be between the Packers and the Patriots with me.
Yeah, Patriots. You're still not. Yeah, no. I don't think they would utilize him well in New England.
But out of what? Who else? Who else did the Packers have at the moment? Sammy Watkins.
Right, but you got Aaron Rodgers at quarterback too.
Doesn't matter. You had Devontae Adams, and you couldn't get it done with him. And Deebo Samuel's, while he is an all-around wide receiver, he's no Devontae Adams on the routes.
Well,
so all I'm getting at is I definitely don't want to speak ill or speak anything into existence. But what happens if Sammy Watkins gets hurt and it's just Deebo Samuel's out there? He then turns into Devontae Adams without the Devontae Adams skill set when it comes to running routes. So if they could shut Devontae and Aaron down, that connection, they're damn sure going to shut down a Deebo Aaron if that's all Aaron has out there.
Right.
That's all I was saying about it. I don't know. But I feel like
at
least on the Patriots, you got a young upcoming quarterback. You still got Nelson Aguilar. You got what's the other dude on the other side? Damn, I can't think of his name right now. But you have a couple decent wide receivers. So you added Deebo Samuels to that bunch. That makes it a little different. And they don't have a Edelman. You know, by design, they always wanted an Edelman or a what's the other one?
Welker.
Right, Welker. They don't have one of those wide receivers that can take it on the end around, that catches the short passes, turns it into something big. That's exactly what Deebo Samuels is. He's just not built like none of them.
You're right, but he also can run the ball. Like I said, you know, he's a run. You get a running back and a wide receiver out of him.
Right, somewhat. But maybe that has to do somewhat with what why he wants out.
Didn't work too much, not paid enough or something.
I could definitely imagine that being the case. Like, he may not want to, because you got to think, like, that's putting you, that's like having your Lamar Jacksons and your, what's your boy's name? Josh Allen's on design runs.
Right.
So I got to risk my body back there in the pocket, throwing the ball, and then you want me to play action quarterback sneak straight up the middle?
Right.
Like that, I feel like that could end up being a lot, you know? And it's the same thing with a wide receiver. I got to go out there, catch passes, get hit, and then you want me to run the ball as well. If I'm not making enough, I don't like that situation.
Right. No, I agree. I mean, if you're not paying me, you got me doing double the work, that's a problem.
Right. I need double the pay. You ain't even got to double my pay, right?
So,
but give me my wide receiver pay, and then whatever you would pay your second string quarterback, cut that in half, put that on top of my contract. Because you're not going to be no full-time running back. I'll probably be running back half the time, wide receiver 100% of the time. So give me 1.5 of my contract. My full wide receiver, half of the running back's contract. Because I need all my coins. So that we may have solved it.
Right.
May have.
Right.
Moving on, though, I don't know what the fuck is going on with Kyler Murray's situation. They saying all of his team members talking about they don't see him, staying with the team for his career, and we all know what that means. Because if you said that publicly, then what you really meant is we don't know how much longer we're gonna have him.
Right.
Because that's not the kind of shit you just put in media like that. So to say that, we know it's a little worse than what you're trying to make it out to be. So I know he hasn't been doing the off-season activities at the moment, and say he has no plans to return. I don't know if they think that's they're not sure if that's off-season activities or they're talking about the mandatories once training camp starts as well. So I guess they just waiting to see if he shows up to the mandatory activities at the moment.
Right.
But I did see a couple of spots that they put down for him as far as places they could see him being traded to. They did say it may not be till 2023. But your Eagles was on there as well. I would not want him. If I was the Eagles fan, if I was the Eagles fan, I would want to stay with Jalen over Kyler.
Yeah, I'm cool right now with what I got.
Yeah, Kyler seems like he could be Baker-ish.
Yeah, I don't need that prima donna shit.
Right.
And Philly just in general, between really any of the sports, mainly basketball, football, their fan base will eat you alive. We're brutal. You know what I'm saying? We're brutal. You come in there talking shit, we're fucking up on some bullshit, nigga, we're going to eat you up alive.
You're not lying about Philly.
Stay where you at, Kyler. Stay where Cowboys.
Well, I mean, he don't really have to stay where he at, but I also didn't think that was one of the best destinations for him.
Cliff, what's that old saying they always said growing up? Oh, you ain't got to go home. Just get your ass up out the hell out of here. So Kyler, you ain't gonna go back to Arizona. You're right, Cliff. Kyler, you can go anywhere you want to go. Just don't get your ass up out of here. You don't try to come to Philly. Don't. We're good. Like you said, because I'd be so mad coming there bringing that prima donna shit. His short ass, man. That's everything mad about him. You short little fucker. You look like a little short little Carlton ass preppy. Having my way or the highway looking. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't done nothing right. Like you be saying to have earned your respect yet and your authority and your idea of I should be able to have decisions.
I don't know if I would say he hasn't done, like he's done nothing, because
what has he done?
They've had a winning record since he's been the starting quarterback there.
Okay, but they haven't done nothing in the playoffs.
No, they haven't, but they're also dealing with, now they have kind of shit the bed towards the end of, or did kind of shit the bed towards the end of the season last year. In terms of record and where they fail. I can't quite remember what happened the year prior, but I know they were in the playoffs. I just don't know what seed or anything like that or who knocked them out. But for a young quarterback, that's something. So I don't think you could just say he's done nothing. But what I will agree with is he's done nothing. He hasn't done enough to be acting the way he's acting.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you ain't, you know what I'm saying? You made honor roll, but you ain't valedictorian, my nigga. Come on, bro. Come on.
Right.
Come on.
That's a good way to put it, huh?
That's all I'm saying, Cliff. A lot of motherfuckers make honor roll. That's great. Good job. Keep it up. Right. Bitch, you ain't valedictorian.
Yeah, so, that's a good way to put it. I ain't even gonna stunt you. That's a good way to put that.
And that was off the top, Cliff.
This nigga's stupid. But yeah, other than the Eagles, it's Jets, Lions, Panthers, Saints, and the Texans.
You only do them if you got a death wish, because all of the teams you just named don't sound like they're headed anywhere anytime soon. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. That's Malk's take.
I mean, I don't think that you have an awful shot with the Panthers. It's just
who they got.
Who
they got?
Who's the receiver I like on the
Ain't Christian McCaffrey trying to leave?
Is he trying to leave? I ain't heard much from him since he got hurt.
That's what I'm saying. I thought I heard that he's potentially being looked at for some kind of trade, like supposedly up to not against it or something. I thought I heard that a while back.
I think I did hear that a while back, but that's not saying that they're looking to shop him around. That's just saying that if somebody comes up with a good enough deal, we're not against hearing it out.
Right. Let me actually just to verify. Let me pull him up.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey, 25 years old, by the way, 5 foot. It says that a month ago, Christian McCaffrey got his contract reconstruction.
See? It doesn't make sense for them to give up the best player on their team.
Right.
That'd be like LA giving up Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. And I don't mean Cooper Kupp. Well, I don't know. Off to offense to defense, I feel like Aaron Donald's the better.
Aaron Donald has won defense.
You said what?
Player of the year like twice, didn't
he? Yeah.
Aaron Donald won defensive player of the year once or twice, didn't he? At least once.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was twice, if I'm not mistaken. But that's here nor there. I'm just saying. I said Cooper Kupp's the best player on the team. I don't know if I should pull it back. I'd say offensive player, but yeah, that's not happening. They're just not going to be shopping him around. But once again, if somebody's willing to give you everything for him, then of course you hear him out.
I just feel like, I don't know, man. It's kind of funny we're talking about this with McCaffrey a little bit too, because it's like I feel like him and Saquon Barkley, like they're kind of in similar boats as far as like they're big names on paper, but it's like y'all so far aren't. I don't want to say Christian McCaffrey did it at one point. Mainly Saquon. They're not living up to the hype. They're to the.
I mean, but that could be situational. That could be situational because they both got drafted there. So it's and I say that meaning they weren't the best teams when they got drafted.
Right, they're still not.
I mean, right, so of course you're gonna use your best player to attempt to get better. Being Saquon and Christian McCaffrey. So that may be why them motherfuckers get hurt every year.
Right.
We need you, motherfucker. We need you out there. We getting you the ball every other play.
Right.
It's only a matter of time for you to get hurt.
Overworking the motherfucker.
Right. So if they get traded possibly to a team that doesn't quite need their talents as much, that frees them up to where they don't have to put themselves in danger as much.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. I mean, you hear about the boy Kadarius Toney? They're wanting to trade him. Mm-hmm. You see that article I sent you a couple of days ago? Yeah. What's your thoughts on him? Because you spoke very highly of. You speak very highly of him.
I still think he's a good get. I think in the era that we're in right now, right? We're in the. Because of course history repeats itself, right? And right now we're in the era of big dominant tight end, small, fast, shifty slot.
Right.
So Kadarius Toney is another one, and I would say in the exact same boat, really. He just didn't get drafted as high. You didn't get drafted to the best team. They don't have a lot of weapons that they can ignore you. They don't have a lot of weapons that they could just ignore you when you're running your routes. You got to be a primary target when you're somebody like that.
Right.
If you go to a squad like the Eagles already got Devontae Smith. My Raiders already got Hunter Renfrow. I just said that because I'm, just to provide an example. I don't know. You know what may be good is putting him on a squad like the Ravens. I think that may be perfect, right? Because you got a shifty quarterback. A quarterback that can fit multiple steps into, like I said, he's always so many steps ahead of somebody. Even when he stops and starts back up, it's like I'm steps ahead of you just off of he fits so many steps in when it comes to distance. And I feel like Kadarius Toney's the exact same way. He's very shifty. He can create space just off of movement. So when you got a quarterback and a wide receiver that can both do that, it's not hard for either one of them to change directions on an impromptu play and turn out making a big, yardage gain. If you got a quarterback and a wide receiver that can both stop on a dime and change direction, it's not hard for Lamar to be running towards the sideline and see Kadarius out there and wave him back in field, and they both stop, cut back, and there's a play.
Right. I mean, Kadarius Toney, I told you what my issue with him is when I seen his highlight tape, I told you at Florida, a lot of the highlights were reverses, in and arounds, I call them, dump passes. I didn't really see anything too explosive over the middle or down the field. So I feel like he's just your, I don't know. I don't really know if you have much use for him. I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, he doesn't do any, he's little. Like, Devontae Smith is little too, don't get me wrong. At least in college, you've seen him burn motherfuckers down the field. You've seen him win the Heisman. You've seen him do stuff even though he's tiny. He plays explosive.
Right.
But
that's a good point.
I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know if Toney in the NFL, if he's going to find much success. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Don't get me wrong.
But at the same time, he came out of Alabama.
Who? Smith?
Yeah. Toney came out of Florida.
Right. And Florida's have had some great wide receivers. Let's not forget your boy Percy Harvin back in the day.
Yeah, but we ain't hopping in no time machines. I'm just saying.
Well, I didn't know if you had compared the colleges because of preparation and readiness, or.
No, I was just thinking like the different teams that they play, but.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I hope Toney figures it out. I just don't know if things are going to play out for him to his benefit.
Yeah, and they may not. You know what I mean? He's another one of those that may, slip into that wide receiver pool.
Right.
Like the same boat that you put the quarterbacks in.
Patrick, yeah.
It's a cruise ship when you think of wide receivers. I mean, I'm just being honest, and I'm not even trying to say it because you think it's 3 wide receivers to every quarterback.
Right.
Most of the time.
Right.
So in more than not, there's more middle tier wide receivers in the league than there ever will be top tier.
Our top tier. I agree. Average to mediocre more than top tier.
Right.
I completely agree.
So it's not hard for Kadarius Toney to end up falling into that pack and losing himself. But once again, in this current era of football, I feel like it's designed for a player of his stature and ability to be able to thrive, essentially.
So you think he still has a shot?
Oh, for sure. I think he still has a shot. And if it's for nothing, and if he doesn't, and nobody wants anything or is interested in him, I would love for the Raiders to pick him up.
I was gonna say, speaking of them, did you hear that your boy Deshaun Jackson's considering retirement?
Yeah, he's on my list, and that's weird to me, right? And we'll get back into it since you brought it up. We'll touch on it because I don't have a lot, and then we'll get back into the trade rumors. But that's weird to me. Yeah. Because my only question is he only thinking about retirement because the Raiders aren't re-signing him?
I think some guys, Cliff, have that hope and dream that, okay, I know this is my last shot, and most likely, if the team doesn't want me, no one else is. So I'm going. Basically, look at it this way. It's like,
well, they
it's
haven't
like
not re-signed him yet. Like, I don't think that they've just released. They haven't released him, but they haven't re-signed him.
Maybe it's like one of those situations where you're getting ready to get dumped, so you try to hurry up and.
But that's dumb, though, right? That's dumb, though, right?
Save face.
That's a good analogy. That's a good analogy, but that's dumb for the fact that this girlfriend is a girlfriend on a come up.
It is a girlfriend on the come up, but it's a girlfriend on the come up that doesn't need you.
Right, and that's fine. That's fine, right? But as long as I'm still with her, I'm not gonna do anything to fuck that up. So we're not gonna play that I'll break up first thing. If you gonna release me, you just gonna have to release me. But I'm gonna ride this wave as long as possible because if they are willing to pick me back up, it may end up getting me a ring in the long run. If Raiders have any shot of getting a Super Bowl in the past 10 years, this would be their shot.
Well, I think that Deshaun Jackson has a lot of pride, and I do feel like he wants a ring. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like he's the kind of nigga that if he's not going to contribute in any type of way, he's just not even trying to go through the day-to-day, the practice, the seat, go through everything to get to that point, knowing that he's just going to watch from the side, basically, or have a limited role.
Doesn't matter. What do you think Odell does half the time? The difference
Odell
between Odell will at least get in and make critical plays, and that's all you have to do. That's all he has to do is that sit on the sideline and watch, and then in the out of 17 game season, in the 20 to 35 plays that you do play in, make sure you run the routes as hard as you can and get your hands on the ball. That's all we ask. I would love to be that, honestly. I would love to be that guy in the NFL. Like, I don't have to start, but I do get 45 to 50 plays a year, and my plays, I'm going to make something happen.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind that shit. Hopefully, less injuries, still getting checked.
And there's always room for growth. See, people like that, those are the ones that I at least feel like have the highest ceiling. Because, for one, the number one reason, like you said, is less injuries. Number two is more time on your hands.
What about when you're your age? Because that's another thing.
Well, that's different, though, because that's the end of your career. When you're my age, like, you don't see anybody at a skill position still playing at 35. Well, not 30. We're about to turn 36 is why I say that. Right. 35 is damn near your cutoff. That's damn near you better start thinking about retirement if you're a skill position.
Right. And that's what's crazy to think about, Cliff. Like, these guys are having to come to reality with that. Like, I'm not a quarterback, right? And I'm not one of the top. That's talking about Deshaun Jackson. Still,
Quarterback's
I'm not
a
one of the
skill
best
position, but it's a protected one, so I don't include it.
for the most part.
Right.
Exactly. Because again, your boy Brady still doing it now. Again, he's a little bit exempt because he's the GOAT, but still, hell, Brett Favre, Cliff. Let's not forget, Brett Favre went out too.
I think 42, 41.
Okay, so it wasn't no Brady, but still, I mean, he looked older than what he was all the time, anyways.
It might have been a little older, but I think it was 41 or 42.
So I got respect, man. Like,
but with that being said, though, that was in an era where the quarterback wasn't as protected. You could kill a quarterback back in those days. Now you can't touch him wrong.
Yeah, Tom Brady.
And that's not to take anything away from Tom. I'm not saying that to say. I'm just saying that 41, 42 is more impressive to me than Tom Brady's, 43, 44?
That's a hot take. And I like it. That's a hot take what you just said. And I like that. Because I do agree with you, Cliff. Cliff, you remember, you're older than me. Not to put it out there, not that it matters. I'm just saying you got to see more of Brett Favre, for example, than me. So that means you know better than me.
One of my favorite quarterbacks. Exactly. He didn't give a fuck. He just didn't give a fuck.
Motherfucker got concussions after concussions.
Man, and didn't care. Wouldn't say nothing to go right back out and say, I'll throw a bomb.
Right. Good. Now, I'm sorry he did this to your team. I'm sorry to get on memory lane as well. Just kind of took me back, get excited. Remember when his dad died? I think he happened to play the Raiders that night. Brett Favre I'm talking about. His dad had died back in the day, and they thought he should sat out because he was real close to his dad. Turned out he had to play the Raiders that night, and he tore y'all apart. Obviously, in honor of his dad passing away. That was the game. That's the team he did it to.
I can't pull that game from my files. Maybe because I wanted to forget. I don't know. But
right. He tore y'all apart. But the only reason I'm saying that is, like you said, they don't. I do like Brett Favre in today's society, Cliff, in today's league. He'd probably be the toughest motherfucking quarterback in the league, man. That motherfucker was tough, Cliff. Tough. Man. They don't make him like him no more. I don't know how we got on that rate. I just, like you said, I always love Brett Favre for his toughness.
Yeah, they don't. You know? They definitely don't make him like that no more. At a lot of positions.
I know they don't. Yeah, that's true. It's different now. These prima donnas, Cliff. These dudes are prima. When did dudes become such prima donnas in professional sports now?
I mean, Michael Jordan and Kobe. It's an era thing.
It has to be because even some of the dressing, Cliff. Some of the dressing is just extreme. I understand you got money, professional athletes. I get you can do the fuck whenever you fucking want and as you please with it whenever you want. But shit, some of the shit y'all do and wear, Michael Jordan, all them, Kobe, whatever hard-nosed guys, they weren't doing that shit.
Michael Jordan couldn't never dress. Michael Jordan couldn't dress. Michael Jordan never had style.
I just meant some of those killer instincts.
I know what you mean back in the day.
You know? But look, I ain't mad at you, Michael. You ain't have style. You want to know why? Because you was motherfucking Mike. You know what I mean? Fly like Mike, Air Jordan, whatever you want to say. You made up for it in a whole nother way, so it gave you a pass there. Now, you played like shit ball, and you couldn't dress. It's like, damn.
I mean, but that's what happened when it changes from a game to business.
Right.
You know, when it's a game, you play for glory. But when it comes to being a business, now I'm playing for my check. My check's not looking right. You got me fucked up.
Right.
But when you playing for glory, you tend to play for a little less. I'll take a little less on the back end because this glory is what I'm putting in the bank.
That's true.
And nowadays, it's become a business.
Speaking of that, I heard it. I heard Tom Brady reconstructed his contract again.
I mean, he's gonna have to, right? Because he left. So with him leaving, of course, they're gonna reconstruct it so that they don't have to pay him. You know, now that we can free up that contract, we can start getting this, and that. But once you choose to come back, now we have to pull back the budget a bit make sure you get your money first, and then we can start seeing what pieces we can add.
Right.
So he had to. That might have been a slick way to do it anyway.
Well, I think they were saying they wanted to do it because, trying to add other pieces, like you said, free up cap space, whatnot.
Right.
But I'm not too mad at the idea.
No, not at all. You can't be. I mean, he has to. Like I said, he has to. You ruled yourself out. If you coming back in now, we got to talk about things.
Right.
Because we was about to spend some money, and now you're stopping us. So, what are you willing to be paid at this point? No, that makes perfect sense.
And we don't know how much longer you got. Clearly,
well, the pendulum always swings, so let's go from a great quarterback to a... I don't want to play my nigga like that, but not so great. Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
He's not attending off-season activities. Nobody still posed any interest at the moment. And then the wide receiver for the Panthers, Robbie Anderson, said no with like 5 O's on there when they said thinking about
Instagram.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So let me play devil's advocate since you just dropped that bombshell. If you're Baker Mayfield, Cliff, right now, given everything we know, how are you feeling? What are you thinking? What's going through your mind?
I mean, of course I'm pissed. I'm pissed. I just don't know who I'm pissed at. Like, I don't know if I keep blaming it on the team and the organization, or do you sit back and say, I had something to do with this as well?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you did. Being Baker, you did. You had something to do with it as well. So you're going to have to reevaluate the way you've been moving, because clearly motherfuckers got their ear to the turf and they hearing about you. To the point that wide receivers that don't truly know your character are speaking out on Instagram about a potential trade regarding you. That's a lot.
That's not good. It's
not at all
good business, as they say.
And then it's like, when have you ever seen that before? I'm not saying it hasn't happened. People saying, I don't want to play for so-and-so. But my whole thing is, you don't see it like that. And now that we're in the era of social media, whether it's the most true or just a speck of truth, the more people that see it start to believe it. When Baker could be a better quarterback fit in Carolina than Sam Darnold or anyone else.
I just don't like Baker. I don't know, and I don't give a fuck if I offend these kind of people. You
said these kind of people. Who? Who we about to offend, huh?
The Baker Mayfields of the world. You know what I mean? The ones that feel like they're too good for the party. They're too good to do what everybody else does and to be treated like everyone else. I can't. He's just so entitled to me. You did a couple fucking commercials for Progressive, whatever it is. Okay, woohoo! Can you play football? Can you be a leader? Can you win? Can you try to stay injury prone? Or I'm sorry, not be injury prone. He just doesn't. He just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, he has been.
I would not get along with him.
Yeah, he has been rubbing me the wrong way. But see, I don't know if I can say that though, because one of the worst things in this world to be is misunderstood.
It is, and that shit sucks. I mean, I can definitely test that.
Right, and I don't know that, because once again, it goes back to the point that I made about the game changing from a game to business. When you include business in things like this that you love, your decision making isn't always the best, right? Because business calls for you to make a decision, a negotiation, a move, a counter. When if I'm just dealing with a game, something I love, I'm not thinking about anything like that. And I feel like some of the business bleeding into the game can make people put themselves in some odd positions.
Right.
And I'm not going to say that Baker hasn't put himself in an odd position. He has. But I don't know that he's just a bad apple in the league, you know? I think it could be a little bit of misunderstanding on both ends.
Well, look at it this way. This isn't the first time we've seen something like this. This isn't the last time. And I always go with the common denominator. I feel like if you're misunderstood by a few, it could just be misunderstood. It happens. But I feel like, Cliff, when a lot of motherfuckers, like random people, like you said, Robbie Anderson or whatever, people who even hardly probably
But he made you
know
like, you don't, like, but how many times have we been in that situation? Whether it be in high school or it's always as a child, motherfuckers talking shit and you're like, nigga, you don't know me? Like, you don't know me. You don't know anything about what you're talking about.
That's true.
Shut the fuck up. And these are still kids jumping into the league at the end of the day. And we all know this generation, if any, just jump on something just to jump on it.
That is true. I can't disagree with you. Now, I mean, I don't know, Cliff. I feel like this, all right?
And I'm not trying to like play defense attorney for Baker or anything like that. But I feel like it's just been a web of a whole bunch of shit that just got kind of spun out of control a bit.
And I agree. Now, the thing is, Cliff, I also feel like Baker dug himself in that to an extent, right? Like, he didn't help. But basically what I'm saying is, Baker, you never helped better your situation. If anything, you made it worse, right? You didn't help better your situation.
I agree with that.
This is fucking sunny as shit. So with that being said, I don't feel bad for you, Baker. I don't feel bad they went and signed Deshaun and played you. I don't. You know, Cliff. All right, here's another thing. I'm about to be dot connected. Baker, you also drove out Odell Beckham out of Cleveland because you made his dad make a fucking highlight tape of how you didn't get his son the ball.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, if there was less things where I could say, if there was more things where I could say, Baker didn't say or do that, he did try to, like, things to his defense, I could have some sympathy. Like, maybe Baker just misunderstood like this. But I don't think.
I think that there's even misunderstanding in that, right? Because we know that the season prior, you over-targeted Odell Beckham.
Right.
That
so where's
fucked
the
up
balance?
your season. So I'm sure somebody in your locker room, in the office, somebody said, listen, chill out on targeting Odell and hit your open receivers. I say it when we play 2K all the time, like, stop passing it to who you feel comfortable with and pass to the open man.
True.
And then the first thing that happens whenever you say that is people start passing to you, whether you're open or not. No, I'm not asking for the ball. I'm just saying stop passing to the people you feel comfortable with and look for everybody on the court. And I think it turned into somebody telling him that to, I'm not going to pat, like, I'm not looking at him as much.
Right.
But just because we said chill out on passing to him doesn't mean that you stop going through all of your motherfucking selections on the field. You got to go through all your reads, regardless if it's Odell. If he's the best route, you hit that route. And that's what he wasn't doing. So once again, I don't know if I 100% put that on him.
Yeah, I'm just not feeling Baker.
I'm not either. Don't get it twisted. I'm not either. I'm just willing to give a motherfucker. I'm just willing to give a motherfucker the benefit of the doubt. He hasn't quite done enough for me to be like, oh, fuck this dude. Because at the end of the day, everything's been about his career. And he's also been the guy who has bypassed surgeries and played through injuries for Cleveland.
Right.
And that says something about somebody's character as well. We just got finished talking about how much we liked Brett Favre because of how tough he was, but then it shit on a nigga like Baker.
Well, see, Brett Favre comes from that old school era.
Now, listen, me, right, and I don't mean to cut you off, but me being a Brett Favre fan, I don't mean any disrespect by comparing the two because they aren't comparable. But what I'm saying is, from the quarterback position, you don't see hella motherfuckers playing through serious injury.
No. I agree.
So if you were to compare, Baker would fall into that category in this generation of quarterback. He just isn't as skilled as a Brett Favre, but when it comes to heart, I would put him up there.
He's got heart. It's just
how does that translate to the field?
Right, and your teammates, and you winning ultimately. Yeah,
that's a good way to put it. That's
my only thing is I don't question Baker's heart. I never, like, if you think about when we're talking about him, like, I'm never mentioning his heart, his passion, or his durability. Well, I did mention injury prone, but I'll take that part back. So just the rest of it, it's like, okay, I get it, I respect it. You are a tough guy. You'll try to.
I don't know if you have to take injury prone back just because he played through them, but you were still injured.
Right.
You were still putting the team at risk by playing through your injuries. I just don't understand why anybody on that coaching staff didn't stop and say, no, we'll sit you. If you need surgery, go get that shit. Because you're making it worse before you're making it better. We're not going to win a chip. There's no point in forcing the agenda.
I guess for me, Cliff, what it comes down to, and I've always been told this, years ago, being a little bit younger at the time, but emotional intelligence, right? It's a lot. It plays a lot in life. Your emotional intelligence. How do you react to controversy or situations, adversity, whatever you want to say? Are you respected? What kind of impression do you leave on your teammates and your coaches, Baker? We know you got heart, but how do they feel about you?
Right.
Obviously not the best. Why do they feel that way, though? Why do so many... You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm saying. Like, if a couple teammates don't like you, whatever, a couple coaches, this shit happens. People out there just hating, disagreements, whatever. Fuck them. Don't get along with everybody. I get it. It seems like the mass majority... Like, none of his teammates I even heard of him sticking up for him. Like, hey, Baker, we love Baker. We want to keep him. Like, have you heard any of that yet? I haven't heard none of that.
Listen, that's what I was getting at, bringing him up. But you bring up a good point, right? Because usually when you play with somebody that has a whole shitload of heart, a ton of heart, it brings out the heart in everybody else as well. Because I'm not about to sit there and watch a nigga fighting for the same cause as me get banged up if I'm not getting banged up too. We all about to get banged up today. So if you putting your body on the line, mine's on the line as well.
Right.
And the fact that he has that heart and he's not bringing it out of the people around him leads me to believe that he doesn't have the leadership skills.
Exactly, Cliff. That's what I'm saying. Like, and there's so many guys like that, Cliff, in sports these days. So many people like that. Where you might be a great athlete, you might be a great player, you might be tough, you might have certain things about you. But can you lead your team ultimately? Like, if your team's not feeling it, if they're not playing well, can you rally the troop? Because Brady can do it. Like, that's why I love Brady too. I don't care if people say Brady. Brady can rally. They can rally the fucking troops. And these are guys, Cliff, you look at them, like, let's say you didn't know they were athletes. Look at them as people. You like, they ain't probably about to lead nobody, get nobody hyper excited. It's fucking looking, blue, whatever. Man, get out of here. They'll cuss you the fuck out. I seen you. Right. Probably seen the mic there. They'll cuss you the fuck out, scream in your face, get at you. You better stop playing. Because like you said, at the end of the day, okay, we're playing a game, we all love it, but it's business too. And I want to win. If I'm gonna get hurt, we're gonna get bumped.
Yeah, if I'm gonna put my body on the line, it's not gonna be for a loss.
Right.
Like, well, I can't say a loss because it happens. You know what I'm saying? Losses happen, but y'all ain't about to just be dragging me, and I'm putting my body on the line. If I'm getting drugged, I'm pulling back.
It's no different.
If I'm down 35 in the fourth, I'm not about to lay out for this catch with the cornerback coming across about to hit me. I'm not doing it.
And that's just logic. But like you, I've even seen you do it in our flag football league, like our team. Like if you feel like motherfuckers is half-assing or not putting enough effort towards the cause, you'll coach in the moment. Come on, what are you doing? Tighten up, you know? Like you're not gonna just sit there, Cliff, and watch your team take an ass whipping without trying to be vocal and help produce yourself and show them that you're in the game as well. I'm gonna put my body out there as well.
I mean, but and of course that's a different, that's on a completely different level.
I'm just saying that's a leader.
I understand.
That's a leader. You can't teach that because I don't care people say you can't teach someone to be a leader.
But it's also, once again, like I bring that up because these are professional athletes. Those athletes got to every last one of those hundreds of athletes in the NFL got to where they were by saying, these motherfuckers can't tell me shit. They can't do shit. They can't tell me shit. I'm that nigga.
Leading in some way.
So when you get into a situation where every single person that arrived here thinks that way, it gets a little harder to start leading your team. But you still have to have a certain characteristic to be able to do so. I'm not saying it's impossible by no means. I'm just saying it's in no way comparable to a league where motherfuckers is doing it for fun, you know?
Let me say something.
But you know what? It may be because they're not coming out there for nothing.
Right.
You know, like I'm not coming out there to get yelled at for, I'm paying you money and I'm coming out to get yelled at every week.
Right.
I'm cool.
And Clip, let me say this. So your boy Mac Jones, rookie, made the playoffs. I don't know about you.
I heard his team loves him.
That's what I'm saying.
What, a bug flew in the car? What the fuck he got going on? You got your strap on you?
You said what?
You was moving real quick, like something was about to happen.
Rob was leaving, my bad. Brother-in-law was leaving the same by. I was trying to hurry up and throw my hand up there. And
fuck that nigga.
Time. Yeah, fuck Rob.
He ain't been on there how long? Fuck that nigga.
Hey, Clip. Hey, not Clip. Hey, Rob, come get a quick live roast real quick. Clip over here roasting your ass saying you ain't been on here.
You ain't even been on the show with your motherfucking ass.
That little bacon bit head ass motherfucker. I know he ain't.
What this old?
Hey.
You know the mascot for Notre Dame Fighting Irish?
Oh shit, Cliff, get him, Cliff.
That nigga's stupid. This old swollen predator. He looked like a predator with a bomb detonated in him.
Cliff, bro, how you been, man?
Coolin', what's good? How you feeling?
Been good, bro.
Hey, Cliff, you should ask him.
Tell me something sports wise.
Want to talk about your Colts and Matt Ryan, Rob? Ask him about Matt Ryan and his Colts.
How you feel about that? Why I got you.
I got the Grizzlies all the way.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Do you mean that?
All the way.
Okay.
He lying.
I mean, that's a hot take.
About it.
That's a hot take, but I don't know if I would think that. I would say your big baked bean ass must be from Memphis.
You ain't right, man. I gotta get going now, bro. Just see you.
Hey, be safe, man.
All right, man. You too, bro.
Join us back up sometime, man. We need you. Go ahead. I got nothing. He said, "Let me take the blunt." See how niggas do, Clip? They come up here, you let them get a hot second on the show.
It ain't still East.
Card, your blunt.
That's how you got another one. You straight.
Right.
I'll be back to you. I got 50 more.
All right, bet. Love you, bro. My bad. I'm back, Cliff. Sorry.
No, you did.
See how he didn't want to talk about his Matt Ryan hitting them Colts, Cliff. That's why I brought it up to him.
I mean, Matt Ryan, I think we talked about it. I mean, that's not too much worse or better than Wentz.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't say that that's too much off of Wentz. Like, they didn't do bad last year, and I feel like you got at least experience and longevity back there now. May not be the most sturdy quarterback, but he's also not the most injury prone either, so that may be a better fit. I'm not against saying that may be a better fit.
What were we talking about before Big Head popped on? We was talking
about fuck ass Baker. What? I'm sorry, I don't mean fuck ass Baker. Let me. But I just said that to say that we didn't need to be. I didn't plan on spending that much time on a nigga like Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
but I mean if he feel like, once again, if he feel disrespected by the Browns, he should feel disrespected by the league, because what's happening is everybody's saying that you're the caliber of quarterback that will wait to see what other options are out there before we decide to pick you up.
Right. I mean, hey,
he's not going nowhere until after the draft. Period.
Yeah, I agree. What other rumors or deals? I pull up
I did want to point out, I know we talked about last week where I said I was at the little family function and they said DK was up. DK's contract's not up till next year. And he's expecting to receive a contract extension, so I don't see DK going anywhere unless somebody, tries to snatch him up. Tries to pull the rug out from under the Seahawks, but I just wanted to point that out. A.J. Brown of the Titans and Terry McLaurin of the Washington Commanders, they're both in the same boat currently, where they're not playing or participating until they get a extension or raise, which puts both teams in a tough situation.
Heard about that. It sounds like your boy Devontae Adams made a lot of what's the word I should probably use? I don't want to say upset, but probably upset or undervalued. Devontae Adams made a lot of his peers feel financially undervalued. Because that's what happened. That's what happened.
Devontae is like we talked about. And I'm not saying that AJ Brown, no, I am saying that. A.J. Brown and Terry McLaurin are both in that middle of the pack bunch, but they're at the top end of it. Like, they're trying to pull away, but they're still in that pack.
Right. They haven't set themselves apart just yet.
Devontae is on a different level. You can't just see him and be like, why ain't I getting it, motherfucker? Because you're not the same receiver.
Yeah, no, you ain't built the same.
Yeah, that's what that come down to. So, but at the same time, I know that both of them need him, right? Washington needs McLaurin, and Titans definitely need Brown. So, if you're going to make a standout for more money, now would be the time. Especially in a situation where, you know how last year there was a quarterback scramble? Everybody was trying to scramble, snatch up quarterbacks. It was like toilet paper in COVID. Yeah, now it's wide receivers this year.
Right.
So with that being said, it does make sense for A.J. Brown and Terry McLaurin to say, I need more currently. You see all these people out here looking for people like me. I need more. Mm-hmm. So I'm with them. I hope they get it.
They're in demand. Yeah, more power to them.
I hope they get it. I got two other topics in football, and then I want to go into some of this fight recap from last week. RIP, legendary ex-Oakland Raiders quarterback Daryl LaMonica dies at 80. That was that article you sent to me in the group chat. I had that, though. That was already written down. But I just wanted to point out some of this man's stats because I was familiar with the name, but I didn't know that he had did all this. Well, first of all, with the Raiders, he went 12-1-1 in his first season with them. passed for 30 touchdowns, and went to the Super Bowl. He lost to Vince Lombardi's Packers in the 1967 Super Bowl, playing with the Raiders. He was drafted in 1963 to the Green Bay Packers, but he in the 12th round, but he chose to play with Buffalo. They picked him up in the 24th round. And then with Buffalo, he won 2 back-to-back AFL titles in 64 and 65 and led the league in rushing in 1964 with the Bills. So dude was bad, like out the gates, like as a rookie coming into the league bad.
Damn. Yeah, that's some stats. I mean, shit, RIP.
Yeah, so I definitely wanted to throw that out there. Hit the showers in that one way, in that good way. And then the only other thing is Jared Goff states he has no concern if Detroit chooses to draft a quarterback in this year's draft. I thought that was an interesting statement for one of two reasons. One being they don't necessarily have to draft a quarterback in the draft. Like we've talked about, they can always pick up a Baker Mayfield or a Jimmy Garoppolo or somebody like that. And that's a lot harder of a win for my starting spot for Jared Goff. Right. Now, my question is, do you think that he said that because he feels he's that good, or he feels that this specific draft class is that bad? Because they've said this is the worst draft class for quarterbacks in years. I'll answer while you do your thing. I don't
wave the kids off to get the fuck off the sidewalk. My bad.
Did you hear my question?
No, I'm sorry. State it again.
I said, do you think he's saying that because he feels he's that good, or he feels like this draft class is that bad? Jared Goff, that is.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think he thinks he's better than the quarterbacks in that draft class, but I also think it's because he thinks that they're not that good as they have been. So I kind of think he thinks it's both. I think he thinks that he's good. Like, man, I'm good and I can beat these guys. But I also think it's because, like, obviously, like you said, he thinks these guys also aren't that good, so I'm better. I think it's a little bit of both. I think he's slightly worried because you should be. I mean, you're Jared Goff. You don't have the best track record. I put you in them quarterbacks, them group of quarterbacks, those tiers. Right. But you know what's weird though? He played in the Super Bowl. This man played in the Super Bowl. This man made it to the Super Bowl. He lost. He did make it though. So I mean, I respect. Lost to the Patriots. I respect him.
And I think that the only reason that he lost was more so coaching than his play. Now, he didn't play the best, but I think that was more so coaching than play when he lost that Super Bowl.
Right.
I definitely do. I think McVay was fucking up out there. Because he at that time he was the youngest coach in the Super Bowl. I think he just was. I think that came down to experience. Young.
He ain't that much older than you, I believe.
Right. Yeah, I think he's only a year older than me. But yeah, it just came down. I think that just came down to experience. That's why That's the only reason why Goff lost that. And let's rewind the tape. If Goff would have won that, who you think gets more props? You think Jared Goff gets more props for beating the Patriots in the Super Bowl, or Matt Stafford gets more props for beating blasphemy, Joe Burrows in the Bengals?
Jared Goff, only because that means he would have beat Tom Brady.
Period.
Period.
So I don't know. That's why I've always said I think they're closer in talent than a lot of people think.
Very well could be.
I used to get them. I got them confused all through that trade anyway. They're the same player for real.
Matt Stafford and Jared Goff look nothing alike.
I said they're the same. I said they're the same player for real.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say they look alike. I
I
was
thought
just
you meant
saying
like
that.
the
Yeah, the same
what's
quarterback.
his name?
It's the same quarterback.
Hero and Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, nah. But yeah, that was the only other thing I had in regards to the NFL. Did you have anything?
What? Nothing that. When I had looked, took a little glance. Yeah, hold on. All right. When I had took a little glance, I had seen little things. Nothing, like I said, nothing to form. Now I seen that Dwayne Haskins recently had his memorial funeral service. Um, I believe it was April 22nd, because that's when the article came out. Former teammates, coaches honor Dwayne Haskins at emotional service. So again, RIP to Haskins. But yeah, I'm just
God
kind of.
bless the family.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything. Eagles JJ Arcega Whiteside moving from wide receiver to tight end.
I saw
I thought
that.
was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I saw
I'm not
that. I didn't write it down because my first thoughts behind that were no, let me stop. But my first thoughts behind that when I saw that was that I mean I get it, right? Because if you got talent coming in at your position and you may not be able to win it, it's kind of like Pee Wee where motherfuckers would be like, well, move me to fullback then. You know,
right.
halfback got hella talent there. Even I'm not better than the second string. Put me at the fullback spot, and I'll do that. I feel like it's either one of them situations or one where you may not have came in the best shape. You know, like you feel like I'm tall enough, but I'm a little heavier than I was last year. But I can still do the tight end spot.
Right.
The question is, what does his blocking look like when he gets in that position?
Right, because you won't have to block.
That's exactly. Now that's what motherfuckers don't understand is that tight end ain't all glory. Regardless of if I said it's a tight end slot generation, you still got to block at that tight end spot. Most of the time, it's an end. And I don't know if you got enough body on you to be able to stop a Donald or a Miller or anybody coming off that edge like that.
Right. It's not that easy, especially just converting over.
I mean, that's your squad though, so you're gonna have to keep me updated on that because that's interesting. I did see that though.
Yeah, like I said, just upon that, I'm not saying anything else. Like I said, too crazy in these NFL updates. Yeah, I just see a lot of draft speculation, like you said.
Yeah, so it wasn't too much going on around.
Jarvis Landry did visit with the Saints last Wednesday, or this past Wednesday. I'm sorry.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's weird, right? Because I would have thought. I mean, I guess that goes to show. You know, that's fucked up, right? Because, like I said earlier in the show, we've heard shit about the Texans long before Deshaun Watson came out and said something.
Right.
Motherfuckers requested trades and all that shit. Now, we didn't know why, but we knew that motherfuckers was interested in leaving long before they got there. Now, the fact that now you got one of the best young quarterbacks in the league on your squad and you still like, nah, I still want to meet up with all these other teams for a potential trade. That says something to me.
Right.
That takes a few points off of Baker and puts a few points on the Browns.
Right.
Because now Baker's out the equation, G. Speaking to Jarvis Landry. Now you got Deshaun Watson and you still interested in, filling out, seeing who you could get, then that lets me know it wasn't about who your quarterback was. It's more so about the entire situation as a whole. And the quarterback has to be closely involved in the coaching staff and all that. So I'm pretty sure you could drive a motherfucker crazy if even the wide receivers is like, nope, I went out. Regardless of who quarterback, I went out.
Right. No, I agree. Like I said, outside of that, just going back to the past, to the 16th, I'm not seeing anything. Well, one thing I did hear that I thought was interesting is, Michigan defensive lineman Aiden Hutchinson believes that Michigan is the new edge rusher powerhouse. If you want to develop some great edge rushers to go to the league, he believes that you'll want to go to Michigan because I guess they developed some of the best pass rushers to go to the league.
I don't know if I can't. I don't know enough to agree or deny that, like, and don't get me wrong, as everybody who has known me on the podcast knows, I'm not a fan of that team up north. But at the same time, I'm gonna give props where props is due, and I'm not gonna say that can't be true. But because I don't have proof, I'm gonna say it's not true. Just because it's that team up north. You gotta prove that to me, baby. And I don't see proof, so it's not true because of who you are.
Did you know that Malcolm Butler returned to the Patriots?
Malcolm Butler
had that MVP moment with the interception for the Patriots. I believe it was it the Falcons or who was it against? That game closing moment interception.
He had safety or a cornerback?
Corner, and then the Patriots did him dirty. They did him dirty, and then he left, and he didn't do shit. And now they're back on good amends. And he went back. He just signed with the Patriots.
Nah, I didn't see that. That's another team that, and once again, like you said, I've heard the name, but not enough sparks my mind to follow it. You know? And I'm not like a Patriots fan. They're actually one of those teams that I put in a bucket with the Cowboys and all the teams that I just get so fucking sick and hearing about.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't watch or see enough to know how much of an impact that re-sign is. Like, what do you think about it?
I don't think I think he passed his prime if he really had a prime, I guess I should say. I think he just got signed off of kind of like an apology thing. Like, we know we kind of did you wrong. You're out there. Fuck it. Why not? But I don't think they signed him like this is. Put it this way, I would have re-signed Stephen Gilmore again back to the Patriots if I'm them before I re-signed Malcolm Butler.
No, I can see that.
There had to have been some kind of guilt. You know what I mean? There had to be somehow more to the story. There has to be some kind of guilt trip, some kind of, I don't know, reason in their mind why they would re-sign him and not bring back somebody such as, again, Stephen Gilmore.
Right.
Still.
No, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
So, I don't think it's a game-changing sign to answer the question. But yeah, that's all I had. I just went back to the about a week ago with the articles. I didn't see anything else too interesting besides, like you said, draft is coming up, so draft talks and stuff like that.
We're going to follow. I haven't really been too heavy into how it's been looking. I'm probably going to change that here coming up. Yeah, but fuck all that bullshit, man. Let's get into these fights. I got a lot of congratulations to give. Mm-hmm. First of all, congratulations, Big Fish Errol Spence Jr. He is now 28-0 with 22 knockouts. He got a 10th round KO over your Dennis Ugas. He fucked Ugas up for real though. I remember we talked about it briefly, and I know that you're not as well versed as I am. But I think I said I didn't I didn't see the knockout. I think I said if anything it'd be a TKO, and it was. It was a TKO because he broke your Dennis Ugas orbital bone along with his nose and ribs, but the orbital is what stopped the fight in the 10th round. And that's not the first person that he did that to. He did that to Kell Brook. He didn't do it to Danny, but he definitely gave Danny a nice little shiner in the eye. And I don't know if that's... I don't even know how I'm trying to put it. Like, I don't know if that's like just a place that he aims, or he just has punches that aren't strong enough to necessarily knock you out, but will do damage to your body.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there was a point in time where he went on a knockout streak. I think either 6 or 9 was his knockout streak. I'm leaning towards 6. But it was also lower tier opponents. But now that you're getting into champions, like you're fighting all champions, he hadn't been knocking nobody out, but he's been doing a lot of damage to people's frame. But I say that to say that after the fight, he said he's calling out Terrence Crawford. He wants that last belt. Terrence Crawford is currently pound for pound number 1, 38-0, 29 knockouts. But he's only had about 6 fights at welterweight, and all of them was either Errol Spence leftovers or fighters that I would say are a shell of themselves. Now, I do think that Terrence Crawford has the better boxing ability. I will say that. But I'll also say that Errol Spence has a very weird way of making extraordinary fighters look regular. He did it to Mikey Garcia. He did it to Danny Garcia. He did it to Yordanis Ugas. He did it to Lamont Peterson. The only reason why he didn't do it to Sean Porter is because he chose to fight Sean Porter's fight. That's why that was one of his uglier fights. But I'm leaning with the big fish in this next fight, Errol Spence. Everybody's saying that they're hoping for it around September, November in that time frame. So I got my fingers, toes, and eyes crossed for that. That's going to be the fight of clearly the decade. But I would even dare to go beyond, because that Mayweather-Pacquiao fight did not live up to expectation. You know, we watched that together.
Man.
Yeah, that just wasn't it. This one, though, everybody been waiting on. So,
you know what that means, Cliff, right?
Yeah, we going to set something up.
About to say, you know how we do whenever it's a big fight over the past years, we always get the...
Nah, that's the biggest fight I'd say at least the past 25 years.
Really?
I would say that.
Up there.
Yeah, I would say that. Because, listen, I'm 35, so 11.
Right.
So, yeah, Tyson and Holyfield was all outside of that. Even Roy Jones and James Toney was outside of that. So, yeah, I would say...
Lennox Lewis.
I would confidently say this Errol Spence Terrence Crawford is the biggest fight in the past 25 years.
Okay.
Quarter century. I'll give him the quarter cent. But yeah, just to wrap that up, only way I see Terrence Crawford winning, because he does have that switch style. He can fight southpaw and orthodox. Only way he wins this fight is if he does it constantly back and forth throughout the entire fight and continues to give Errol Spence different angles. Makes him uncomfortable. Because I think if Errol Spence gets close enough to do his head in your chest, bang your body type style, Terrence ain't gonna be able to last it. But he also has footwork to get away from it too. His footwork's better than Spence's. I'll give him that. But Spence is just like a tank, like a Terminator. I'm just coming forward, punching constantly, and you gonna drop. So
Right.
I don't know. You gotta be great to get past that. And everybody, I even thought this Ugas fight, I thought that Ugas was gonna give him a lot more work. I think I even said it on the show last week or the week before. I said this is gonna be the hardest fight of his career. Not at all.
Right.
Not at all. Not at all. So he continues to impress me. I'm going big fish against Terrence Crawford. I wouldn't be against jumping out the window and saying by TKO in the 11th round via eye. He been snatching motherfuckers' eyes. They said this other dude, he a YouTuber or whatever, he do only boxing. Motherfuckers, I'm not gonna say anything like that, but he said that he's had reports that Ugas's eye still had not opened up as of Friday, and the fight was last Saturday. So 6 days his eye, the swelling hadn't gone down for his eye to be able to open up for him to see out of it. They already said he's going to need surgery, but the question is how bad is it? And if his eye is still swollen, that's scary. That means something's for real wrong in there. It's not coming down. I wish him the best. Prayers go out, him and his family. But Arrow's a different beast. I'm waiting to see that Terrence Crawford fight, and I'm going to end it at that. Also, last week, we talked about it on the show. Connor Ben, the son of the great Nigel Ben, fought South African fighter Chris Van Heerden, who is 28-3-1, 12 KOs. Connor Ben is 21-0, 14 KOs. Well, this is now after the fight, I should say, for these stats. Connor Ben knocked him out in 2 rounds. It was easy work. Nothing about it. Looked hard to him. I think Connor Ben's ready to get up in there with some of the better fighters like Jaron Ennis, the Keith Thurmans, all them. Get him up in there with them.
I mean, yeah. Shit, I'm ready to see some good classic matchups again. You know, like you said, not these cycling bin matches. You know, you kind of know who's usually going to win. I'm ready to see some.
We actually going to get into that, honestly, because I do have upcoming fights coming up on the next page. And there are some amazing fights that are coming up within the next, 2 months? Next 2 months is jam-packed with fights. But lastly, I want to give a shout-out to Isak Pitbull Cruz. He was the Mexican dude that fought Gervonta Tank Davis last... can't even remember the month now. It was a couple months ago. But he knocked out Yorkie Scamboa in the 5th round. Yeah, it was the 5th round. He's now 23-2, 1 draw, 16 KOs. And Gamboa is now 30-5, 18 KOs. Might be time for him to hang it up. I'm not gonna lie. I like Gamboa. I was a fan of him when he was, I'll say, a lot sharper. I'll use those words. But now I just don't see it in him anymore. And I feel like he's just a sheep being led to slaughter at this point, just to put a name on people's resume. And I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't respect it. Not saying I don't respect the fight. But I mean, as long as he wants to fight, he's 40 years old right now. And fighting is not football. That's a tough 40 to be.
Right.
So, I mean, good win by Cruz. He agreed to the fight. I'm not taking nothing away from him. I do think that he takes a lot of other fighters in that division. Not some of the best, but a lot. He called out Ryan Garcia, who is 20-0, 18 KOs. He just got a unanimous win, decision win over Emmanuel Tago. He's now 32-2, 15 KOs. But I don't know if Garcia takes it, and if he does, I got Cruz knocking him out. Period. Period.
Right.
And I think Isaac Cruz, he's only, 5'3"? I think he's 5'3" with a 66, 67-inch arm reach. Ryan Garcia is 5'10" with a 72, I believe. I might have his reach wrong. But it's going to look like a David and Goliath fight. But I think that Cruz got him. I think he knocks him out. If he doesn't knock him out, I think the ref stopped the fight. Or his corner throws in the towel. Cruz, I'm giving it to Cruz all the way. As far as upcoming fights tonight, we got Tyson Fury fighting. He's fighting. Yeah, Tyson.
I thought that fight was already. I thought that fight was talking about White.
Yeah.
It says that fight's already over.
So they must have did it early then.
Tyson Fury retains heavyweight title with 6-round TKO of Dillian White, then hints at Francis Ngannou bout.
I mean, we knew. I was just gonna say we knew that Dillian White, he didn't have anything to beat Tyson Fury. That was facts. I didn't see any way that that Dillian White won this fight, other than the long shot. But I mean, I get it, right? It doesn't make sense. That's the best fight for Tyson Fury at the moment.
Right.
Just because, and I say Francis Ngannou, meaning Francis Ngannou, and the only reason why I say that is because the other champ is no longer Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua lost. He now has 2 losses on his record and no belts. The champ is currently in Ukraine, which is Alexander Usyk, fighting in the war. So if you can't fight the champ that has the belts currently, you might as well get the big payday and fight the big UFC star. That's really, in my opinion, that's his only option, is Tyson Fury. Otherwise, there's no point in risking a fight with anybody else. Nobody wants to see a Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury 4. But congratulations then. Add him to the list. Ah, my nigga dropped. Add him to the list. Next, we got April 30th. We got the Shakur Stevenson Oscar Valdez fight, which is going to be a great one. I'm going Shakur Stevenson TKO 11th round. And the only reason why I say that is because Valdez has been in fights where he's gone through a lot of punishment, with getting his jaw broken and all that. Now he's another one that has heart out the ass. He gonna fight through whatever, but big but Shakur Stevenson is a different animal, accurate, one of the best counter punchers in the game. And record 17-0, 9 KOs. He currently has a WBO belt, so this is a unification fight. As Oscar Valdez is 30-0, 23 KOs. He has a WBC. But Shakur's been calling Valdez out for at least 2 years now, maybe 2.5. So the fact that he's now about to get this fight and it's coming up in exactly 7 days, I'm definitely excited for it. I will say that. My nigga had to pull out his sidearm.
Man, my bad.
Had
My
to get his
shit.
tablet out.
I called you off the iPhone.
Uh,
Yeah, man, my bad. My fucking laptop had died. I didn't know it was that close to dying.
nah, you good. That actually sound better anyway. Should have had you do that from the jump.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, there it is.
But yeah, no, I was just talking about that Shakur Stevenson Oscar Valdez fight that comes on next Saturday. Along with an undisputed fight between Katie Taylor, who's 20-0, 6 KO. She's currently pound for pound number one as a female. Then against Amanda Serrano, who's currently 42, 1-1, 30 KOs. She's pound for pound number two. So this fight is for all the belts, and I would assume the pound for pound number one status as a female. So this is a historic fight for women's boxing. The closest comparison to this fight would be Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, the one that we talked about before that I said ain't been a better fight in 25, won't be a better fight in 25 years.
Right.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
But this Katie Taylor Amanda Serrano fight is similar, the closest in comparison to that. And then if Katie Taylor pulls it off, which I definitely think she has the capability of doing, Clarissa Shields has already called her out. And I don't think nobody get past Shields. I don't think that happens. And I think she's being smart because if you notice, Clarissa Shields hasn't hopped back in the ring immediately after doing her MMA. Because everybody knows she was doing the MMA shit, and unfortunately she took that loss. But MMA distance, timing, everything's different. So it didn't make sense for her to jump right back in the ring coming from fighting mixed martial arts. I'm proud of her for using her head in that. But moving on, Canelo Alvarez is fighting Dmitry Bivol, the Russian champ. That's on May the 7th. Canelo is currently 57 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, 39 KOs. Dmitry Bivol is 19 wins, 0 losses, 11 KOs. I like Bivol, but I'm not excited for this fight. I think it's going to be a good fight, but I'm not excited for it because I do think Canelo Alvarez is just too good. And Bivol's not on his level. Once you fight the best fighter possibly all time in Floyd Mayweather, you get keys. You start unlocking shit and learning different shit, and it's clear Canelo has. Bivol's just not on his level. I'll just say that. And we'll move on. 3 more fights. You'll start knowing some of the fighters getting down here. We got Jermell Charlo. He's getting his rematch against Brian Castano at the Undisputed. That's for all the belts. Charlo's 34 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 18 KOs. Castano is 17 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw, 12 KOs. And that 1 draw was both of them. They drew in their last fight. So now this is the rematch to see who the winner is. If I'm giving my opinion, I don't know. I'm hoping Charlo. Well, he was training with Errol Spence's trainer. What's his name? Damn, I can't think of his name. So if he improves on some things, if it's the same fight as last fight, Brian Castano takes that. If he improves with Derek James, that's what I'm thinking of. So if he's improved his skill with Derek James, I'll give it to Charlo. I'll edge Charlo out. But if it's the same fight as last time, Brian Castano is your new undisputed champ. May 28th, Gervonta Davis versus Rolando Rolly Romero. Gervonta Davis is 26-0, 24 KOs. Rolly Romero is 14-0, 12 KOs. Gervonta has said it. He didn't want to fight Rolly. That's just Mayweather putting that fight together because it's the last fight on his contract, and Rolly's a Mayweather fighter. But I think that this fight is has no business in being made. Rolly has power, but I don't think he has the skill to fuck with Gervonta Davis. I'm going with Davis by homicide in this one. In probably the 8th round. And then lastly, we got another undisputed fight. Devin Haney versus George Cambosos. Devin Haney is 27-0, 15-0, WBC champ. George Cambosos is 20-0, 10 KOs, WBA, WBO, IBF champ. So that's also for all the marbles that will be in Melbourne, Australia on June 4th. But yeah, out of all those fights, all of them are going to be entertaining. Every single one of them. But I'm only looking forward to about 3 of those.
Yeah, I mean, based off what you said, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that's all I'm really interested in. But other than that, I don't have much else other than Mike Tyson punching the drunk dude on the plane.
Yeah, I finally seen that video.
Mm-hmm. And you could tell he wasn't hitting him like he could have hit him.
That's exactly, you just took the words right out of my mouth. That's what I was about to say. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was made out to be.
Right, no. It wasn't like Mike, when you hear Mike Tyson punching somebody, you like, oh my gosh, I hope they're okay.
If he wanted to kill him, I'm very convinced he kill him.
He could have gave him 2 swift ones, like 2 good, like how he used to throw his hooks. It'd have been a problem.
Especially to the temple or whatever.
Right. You took the words out of my mouth. But it looked like wrestling. Like he was just just trying to let him know, right? But he wasn't. Right. He was probably stomping in his aisle while he was throwing the punches.
That's so funny because he's been in wrestling or WrestleMania moments. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it looked like. That was good. About that. That's a good analogy. That's what it looked like. It looked like, except for you actually took a couple licks. I mean,
right. But feel good that those were the licks that Mike Tyson gave you.
And I don't care, right? And I don't care how much of a fan you are. There's always a line. You know what I mean? There's always a line.
I don't know. I didn't hear nothing in the articles I read that he was a fan. I heard that like he was antagonizing him or something.
I read articles that said his lawyer said that the reason why he was on Mike Tyson like that was he was so excited. That was the bullshit.
Of course they're gonna say that. Of course.
They said he was so excited and they just couldn't believe it and just was overly excited to be around him and meet him. Was what the lawyer tried to say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all I had on that though. I don't got nothing
he can say. And what you about to say?
No, go ahead. I was gonna say.
The only other thing was I saw that video of Brian Custer sparring with Errol Spence to the body. Did you see that? I sent that to the group chat.
No, I gotta check that out.
Listen, he's the commentator, the bald head black dude, the commentator. He's sparring with Errol Spence to the body, and I definitely got some points with him seeing him do that.
Damn.
Because they was really throwing. That shit, man, that made me smile looking at that.
It wasn't no joke, huh?
Right. He ain't no hoe is all I'm getting at. Like, don't matter how skinny or nerdy look, he's willing to throw them hoes.
Right.
But other than that, I don't got nothing. Who's your hit the showers?
Man, I got to give it to that bum on the plane and his lawyer, whoever the guy was that decided to try to poke the bear, and Mike
Yeah, that's
Tyson
ignorant, man.
and his lawyer for making up that bullshit excuse we just talked about, that he's an excited Mike Tyson fan, and
And I get
just,
it.
you know,
I get it. Like, you can be excited, right? But you can also read cues.
read the room.
Right. Even if I'm drunk, I can still read your cues, and I can see, as much as I love Mike, and I love Mike, he didn't want to be bothered. I sit back
Right.
and be cool.
And it's Mike, so definitely don't. This ain't no fucking, I don't know, random little actor or
I'm not gonna poke at him or lean over in his owl and whisper in his ear. I'm not doing all that. It's cool. We cool. I get it. I get it. You're famous. You're probably tired. Your wife's
Right.
probably on your nerves on top of all these people running up and talk. I get it. I'm not gonna be the guy to be pressing you. Unless I got a press pass or something. Then I don't give a fuck how you feel. Mike, I'm here to hear. What made you hit the motherfucker like that? What'd he say to you?
Right.
Why'd you hit him like a WWE wrestler? You Stone Cold Mike Austin? What the fuck is going on?
Let him tell it. Hey, that motherfucker was, man. It happened so quick too.
But yeah, you shouldn't poke the bear. Certain motherfuckers you should know, like, just leave them alone.
Chill out. Right. Chill out.
I honestly might put it on the stewardess. She, whoever may need to hit the showers, because you might need to get this motherfucker.
Right. Like, who didn't see this fast enough to be like, whoa, or, hey, you're out of your seat. You know what I mean?
But,
Never.
I mean, I hear people say it all the time, like Mike should have been more in control, and I definitely get that, but even celebrities have bad days, and we don't know when they having bad days being fans, so constantly you being bombarded with pictures and people talking to you crazy. Motherfuckers can break. And if that was a broken moment, like if that was Mike Tyson's Will Smith moment, I actually think he handled it better.
You think so?
I do. Because first, like we said, you didn't hit him like you could have hit him.
Right.
You just jumped over the seat and knuckled him a few times, but you didn't actually cock back not one of those punches. You didn't stop anything from moving, right? Regardless of that fight taking place, the captain's still flying that motherfucking plane.
Right.
It wasn't like an attempt to be dramatic so much as it was, you're pissing me off, leave me the fuck alone.
It was
Will
a reality.
Smith was an attempt to be dramatic, like an attempt to make press. Like, I feel like that's why I feel like Mike handled it a little better. Because what else do you do? There's only so many times you're going to lean over this aisle and spit on me. And I don't mean like hawk spit. I just mean like drunk talking in my ear, spitting in my area.
Right.
Before I say, get the fuck away from me. And if you don't respond to that, chances are it may get physical.
Right.
Plane, train, or automobile.
You're stupid. I like that.
But no, I agree. I agree with that. Hit the shower is mine. After watching the fight, I'ma say my hit the showers is gonna go to you, your Dennis Gamboa's corner. Whoever was working a corner needed to stop the fight. It should have been stopped long before the 5th round. He got dropped 4 times in the entire fight, and the fight was only 5 rounds, and they stopped it in the 5th.
Damn.
Somebody should have threw the towel in long before it got to that point.
Right.
And I'm not saying he took damage like Spence gave damage, but it just shouldn't have gone that far. And I think that the corner should have thrown it earlier, so they got to hit the showers because they're not the ones that got to deal with those injuries the next day.
Right.
You know, the next day after a fight, you don't even want to move out your fucking bed. I'm hurt. My ribs, my back, my face, everything hurts.
My neck and my back.
Right. I can't move. I don't want to get out of here.
Rest in peace.
The corner don't have to deal with that, is all I'm saying. So you should have thought about that, your fighters' well-being, and threw that towel in. But what was you about to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, not good management. Not good management.
Well, I won't say management, but corner work. Whoever you hired to do your corner, they didn't do it right.
Right.
Wasn't good enough. So y'all hit the showers. Anything to take us out?
Yeah. NFL draft coming up. NBA playoffs is getting hot. See y'all on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, Wednesday gonna be a good one. The draft, I got a lot of work to do. I'm gonna try to I think I'm a for the shower heads out there, I think I'm gonna copy a few links into the comments. Definitely the Brian Custer sparring Errol Spence. I think that's definitely worth getting some views. I was going to copy some links, Antonio Brown songs on YouTube too.
Oh.
And then we didn't really get into that, but you said you ain't like it. I didn't really hear a lot of songs I didn't like.
I liked his features, and some of the beats, but I wasn't really feeling his flow and what he, I like that Pit from the Palace. That
shit hot.
That's catchy,
Yeah, that shit hot.
I didn't
his
listen to
words wasn't even that bad though. I was listening to his words too. They wasn't bad.
Yeah, I hadn't listened to the whole thing. I only listened to like 3 songs. I ain't gonna lie, maybe four.
Yeah, nah. I mean, it wasn't great, but as far as musically for an athlete, he might have instantly put himself in the top 3.
So you're saying Le'Veon Bell got to go ahead and drop his shit now, or Damian Lillard?
Damian Lillard gonna have to. I liked Iman Shumpert's little joint. I didn't listen to the whole CD, but some of the songs that he had, that's why I said top 3, because Iman's in my top 3. Now I gotta put AB up there because he did a lot better than I expected. I expected it to be a joke.
Me too.
And it wasn't a joke. The music wasn't a joke.
He been hanging out with Kanye and them. He been hanging out with some superstars lately, man.
So he had to have a card in his back pocket, and that motherfucker just showed it, I guess. I don't know.
Talk about he a free agent, music and shit.
But you said Alicia Keys said that it's Grammy Award winning. I don't know if I would quite go that far.
Yeah, I would not go that far.
Isn't that oh no, you tagged me in the comment in the post. About Alicia Keys saying Antonio Brown's new CD is Grammy Award winning.
That's what, yeah. Mm-hmm. I would not go that far. She tripping on that, Alicia.
Listen.
Respectfully. But yeah, like you say, like, subscribe, share, troll, tell a friend to tell a friend.
All that shit.
And, show some love or don't. Fuck it.
We'll be back regardless. Catch us Wednesday. We're going to be recapping the playoffs and all that jazz. All my shower heads, be good or be good at it, as we always say.
And Cliff, it didn't make the playoffs. Cavs couldn't pull it off.
Man, like you said. Where was the Lakers before?
But you